What's going on, everybody? Welcome to my Let's Play of Ransom. This is the first one of these that I've done, so we'll just kind of see how it goes. This is an awesome game. I've heard some people lately kind of compare this to Double Dragon in kind of a negative way. But River City Ransom was always unique to me in that you could actually beat people up and spend their money on groceries, which is something I think I think Double Dragon was really missing. Okay, so we open in the Crosstown High scene. Other ports of this game, I think it was MSX or something like that, they made it so that you could actually enter the Crosstown High, and they did that by reusing the school scenes from the very end, and you could enter the school and there was nothing in there. According to the manual, the frat guys tend to throw things a lot. I always found them a pain. In the very beginning, when you first start out with your beginning statistics, I felt the characters are really slow. So, since the frat guys do a lot of throwing and a lot of running, I just found them a big pain in the butt. Look at the backgrounds here. This is something I really like about this game. They spent a lot of time making the background actually look like a neighborhood. The colors they used for the houses aren't understated at all. They're very bright and they stick out a lot. Which is something like if you play Double Dragon, the backgrounds are not overly simple in that game, but they're definitely not as detailed as this. Look at the city background just as he enters the mall. You can see like the power lines in the background. I always thought that was pretty cool. Alright, so you start out with 20 bucks, picked up some cash, and here I'm getting Dragon's Feet, which is really the only technique you need to purchase in the game. There's a lot of different techniques, but that's the only one that I feel that I have to get every time. Picking up a few muffins. This is my attempt to start right away boosting the agility stat, even if slowly. I think at this point I had delusions that I was going to beat the entire game without dying, and I hadn't played this in years. I mean, years. Something really cool about this game is if you ever get the chance to play it on Nesticle, or maybe grab the ROM and open it up with a palette tool, there's a lot of graphics stored in the game that are unused. I think this is common. I'm pretty sure it's common with NES games. For example, the opening screen, you can see close-ups of our heroes doing like the peace sign that were never in the game. Best I can figure, I think they're deleted from the ending, because at the ending there's a couple of screens where there's captions on the bottom and it's just a blank screen, so it appears that something was taken out, which is funny because it couldn't be taken out for space, because I mean the graphics are still stored in there. There's some text taken out too. A friend and I used to get into ROM hacking, and there's some text from a character named Shin. I wish I could remember what he was saying. I even went back and tried to figure out ROM hacking again just so I could see it and write it down, but no dice. Alright, what we're looking at now is supposed to be a park, but for the life of me I could never figure out what those big blue cylinders in the middle are. I mean, I tried to give them some rope because it's an NES game, you know, and it's aged. They didn't have a lot to work with in terms of making backgrounds. But I mean, look at the rest of it. You can clearly see the men's room and the women's room and the benches and the trees and all that makes sense. But then they have these pipes in the middle. Is it supposed to be like a construction zone or something? I don't know. I could never figure that out. That is one of the great mysteries of this game, is why there is a spaceship sitting in the middle of the Sherman Park in River City Ransom. Okay, essentially at this point what I'm doing is I'm attempting to save up 20 bucks, $21 or so. The reason why I'm doing that is because there's an item at the first mall, the mixed roll, which essentially gives you a crap load of stamina, and when your stamina is full, Instead of giving you stamina, it gives you max power. So the plan is get twice as much as it costs to buy this thing, kill myself, and then buy it when my stamina is full, so my max power goes through the roof. It's something I always tend to do at the beginning of this game. It almost seems like, well, not almost seems like, but there's grinding involved in a beat 'em up game. But I never minded that much. It's always something I liked about this game, that you had to save up for some things. Yeah, that sucked. It's about $1.50 away from picking it up, and I just got the beat down. And here I get lucky and pick up just enough to get the item without taking any damage. Alright, so the magic item, which makes the game easier, is at the sushi bar. Now watch this. Watch this, the statistics when I eat it. Stamina's maxed out, max power 20 up. In real life, every time I eat a mixed roll, all I can get is diarrhea. It must just be a really good mixed roll. You just get stronger. The sushi bar injects it with steroids. Okay, so we're off to fight the first boss. And I believe this is Moose? Is it Moose? I can't remember the boss's names. Yeah, Moose. Not too difficult. You can take him out generally without getting any statistic upgrades. Okay, I skipped over some stuff there. Essentially, what happens is there's an item, the sodas, that up your weapon statistic, but they only up them 1 point. So I tend to buy a lot of them, and it makes it so that I waste a lot of time in that store. So I just thought I'd skip over that. This is the famous bridge scene, which just drives me up the wall because you can't skip it. You can't make the text go faster or anything. I think I played this game for like 3 years constantly before I found out about this battle. You go in on the bridge and you go up a little bit and it takes you to the screen. Something I find interesting, look at the background. Look at all those skyscrapers. Jeez Louise. That's more than like... It reminds me of Inception towards the end when they go to like the destroyed city place. And it's like skyscrapers as far as you can see. I don't know the state of Iowa, you know, top to bottom, but I'm pretty sure there's no city that big. Alright, at this point, I think I'm pretty sure I'm just trying to railroad it to the next boss battle. Ugh, I hate this screen. Jumping up and down on these boxes is just like the most unfun thing I could think of. What happened there? Did you see that? I just kind of... I think the way the physics work is I was supposed to be... That's me hitting the ceiling when I jumped. But that's just ridiculous. Just totally stalls out the gameplay. Alright, so here we go with boss battle number 2. And this guy's also pretty easy, but this particular fight I didn't do so well. Thank goodness I bought some sodas. Alright, and I skipped some stuff so you didn't have to sit there and watch me drink 4 sodas. You know, now that you think about it, River City, Iowa is in the Midwest, right? So they would just call it pop. They wouldn't call it soda. Alright, so once you beat that guy, there's another boss back in the park, which makes it so you have to backtrack. I remember the first time I played through this game, we didn't figure that out because we weren't reading all the text. And I had to, we went all the way to the end, and the gatekeeper guy, the boss at the gate, lets you into the school at the end. He doesn't show up, so you can't get in. Alright, so screw this. I'm gonna jump up on the wall, which just confuses the bad guy AI to no end. Oh, I hope I skipped this. And I guess I changed my mind and decided not to buy anything there. Right, I'm getting ready to go and face the boss at the park with no stamina, so I have to pick something up to fix that. Either pick something up to fix it or kill myself, so I go in with full health. So I go for another awesome steroid-infused mixed roll. Don't know why I didn't buy 2 there. Probably would have done better. We'll grab some muffins. I skipped some stuff there. I cut out some purchasing of 8 muffins or whatever it is. When you're playing 2-player, that gets really irritating too, to have to sit and wait for the second player to do all the shopping. Alright, so here's the blade battle. This guy is a little bit. This is like the first part of the game where you either have to have bought enough food to raise your power enough, or have to be pretty decent. And as you can see, this guy just my butt gets handed to me. All right, so I have powered up by eating 7 muffins. Which is, in real life, what I like to do just before I get into fist fight is eat 7 muffins, because that gives me the brand power I need. And that still wasn't enough. Definitely got whooped. So this is attempt 2. And I got him this time. Which is weird, because that always is what happens with this guy. I go in and get my butt handed to me, and then the second time, like, it's just no problem. I just whipped him. Alright, so now we can get moving back on track. I'm not good enough at the game to play all the way through and win the twins battle without any statistic power-ups, so I had to pick up a couple of things along the way. The generic dudes. The city is being terrorized at the wrath of the generic dudes. Alright, so here we go back into the warehouse scene again. Ugh, hate these boxes. If you're on a different plane as the enemies, they just stand still. I'm shocked. Alright, so at this point my goal is to save up 20 bucks. There's an item in this hidden store called the Isis Scroll, which ups your throwing power 20 points. Makes your throw pretty fierce. The trouble with that is you have to watch for the, like if you throw a trash can and it ricochets off the wall, it can just like totally drain your energy in 1 or 2 hits. So that becomes a problem. It's especially difficult in 2-player mode, because when somebody uses a tire, they tend to bounce around a lot, and there can be a lot of accidental player kills that way. Alright, so there's my 20 bucks. Gotta wonder how a store stays open like this. After playing this game for 20 years, I still have never decided to save up enough money to buy any of those other items. Alright. What am I supposed to do with this thing? Throw power 20 up. Alright, we're getting ready for the next boss battle. This is the Turk boss battle, I believe. Nice. Wasn't expecting to do that well. Very next screen, there's the Mojo battle, which is, in my opinion, an easier boss. They differentiate the boss difficulty in 2 ways. 1, by changing the statistics that they have, and 2, by giving a small handful of bosses special moves. And really, the statistic differences, they don't really make a difference one way or the other. It's the ones with the special moves, like Ivan the Gatekeeper has a headbutt move and that sort of thing. Now here you can pay a ridiculous amount of money to get shoes, which give you extra kick power. I was hoping to up the kick stat a little bit, because I don't have memorized what all these things do, and I'm pretty sure it didn't work out that way. Insoles apparently make me stronger. Now at the rate this is going, one thing is absolutely certain: when I face off against the twins, I'm gonna need some yeah, see there, it died right away. I'm gonna need some sort of reserve item. So that's the next order of business, is to find some powerful reserve items. Getting ready for the next boss battle here in the tire factory. Now the next mall has one of those technique books, which gives you the same rapid fire dragon kick style thing for the weapon move, the Grand Slam, and that's kind of one of those things that's really nice to have. It makes the twins a snap, but they charge 57 bucks for it. So that boss there, I tend to just constantly beat over and over again. Alright, and those other twins are back for revenge here. By the way, the health club scene will not be seen in this game. Yeah, at this point, since I haven't really been spending a whole lot of time grinding and buying extra food, I'm way underpowered. So there, I died several times and had it cut out. Before I have any chance at the bosses in the school, I'm gonna need to have extra willpower, which is generally obtained by doing the health club over and over again. Which, despite being a hilarious moment in video games, it does actually help your character a lot. All right, picking up some power-ups for the twins battle. This was another instance where I bought a lot of those sodas to try and up my weapon stat, and I cut it all out. Pretty sure I also did the health club a bunch of times and cut that out as well. Now, I'm pretty sure this is the only instance of a reused screen in the entire game. It's the same as the beginning. But in the original version of the game, when they designed it, it wasn't, because they reused the school. After all this time, I never got around to playing River City Ransom DX on the Game Boy Advance. I should give that a try. I hear that game is much harder. Alright, so about 6 saunas later, the key stat here is willpower. Now, the willpower at this point of my character is maxed out. So that gives you, like, did you see how much the health was drained at that time? That's the trouble with having such a high throwing stat. Right, so when your willpower is maxed out, you have kind of a continue feature, where when they knock you down, you get a couple of health bars back, and you can stand up and fight a little bit more before you get game over. When you're maxed out, you can do that like 3 or 4 times. I think I just got whooped so bad on that screen I decided to come back and power up before I tried the bosses again, which in retrospect I probably should have cut out of the video. But first, this is my first honest attempt at a Let's Play, so gotta give me some rope. Alright. Full again. And I just got demolished there. But with this little bit of remaining health, I managed to go quite a long ways. Watch this battle with the Gatekeeper here. And I mentioned this before, but Ivan, the Gatekeeper, has a headbutt move, which makes him ridiculously difficult, and I got really lucky. First survive my headbutt. There's the willpower stat in action. At this point, my hope was just to get rid of the Gatekeeper and then come back with full health again. I think he has like $9 on him or so. This screen has Otis, the gym teacher, is the boss here. And he's actually, he's a mandatory boss, but there is an optional boss in the school upstairs. So, that's shameful. I should have cut that out. Willpower, stat, and action again. And this guy's a pushover. I never really have any trouble with him. So that's it. That's the final mandatory boss before the twins. And I honestly wasn't expecting to get this far on that little bit of health after getting beat up so bad just trying to go to the school. But what the heck. So, gonna take a stab at the twins. And it's not gonna go well. But after I get killed, I cut out the rest, so this is pretty much the end of the game. Now, one thing I forgot to do is after you beat the twins, you can enter one of these classrooms and save the girlfriend, but I didn't bother. Yeah, no chance. I didn't get a chance. Now, when I first played this game, I played this before I ever played Double Dragon, so I always thought Double Dragon took that theme song from this game, but the reality is there was actually an Atari 2600 port of Double Dragon which had an Atari 2600 rendition of this little tune. Willpower, stat, and action right here. That's the reason you do the health club. So at this point, I have the willpower working for me, and I have a bunch of high-powered reserve items. It's these guys with that spin kick that they have, which makes them a pain in the butt. If it wasn't for that spin kick, then they would just be the easiest bosses. The reason why I think that is because this guy, the actual final boss, has 0 special moves. They just decided to make him, you know, high statistics or whatever, and consequently he's a pushover. And this particular battle with him, I had more trouble with him than I would generally like to admit in public, but for the most part he's pretty easy. Dipping into my reserve items. Watch how much my stamina goes up. Nice. Surprised I didn't have to use any of those on the twins. So that's the final boss, and consequently the game. When we play this on 2-player, my brothers and I, a lot of times we'll go back through the doors and then come back in so we can fight him again. Now here we have text with no image at all. I'm a firm believer that there was some close-ups that were cut out here. And that's the game. That's River City Ransom. I know it's kind of cheesy. This is my first attempt at a Let's Play, so I hope you guys enjoyed it. This is a really good game. This is the first NES game I ever owned that was mine. I have several older brothers, so when I was very young, all the games we had belonged to them. But River City Ransom is a classic. If you guys haven't played it, go play it. It didn't do very well in the States, but it has a cult following. And anytime you have a game that has a cult following but didn't sell really well, that's the surefire formula for an overpriced game, and that's River City Ransom. So good luck finding a copy. It's not too bad. It's not like one of the really rare games like Panic Restaurant or something like that, but get ready to spend like $20 or so. Alright, this is Critical Failure. This is my first Let's Play. Thanks for watching.